Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Better Call Saul. Last time on Better Call Saul, we had Coushatta, where basically Jimmy took a bus to Coushatta, Louisiana, and along the way he paid people to write letters saying how good of a person Huel is and how important he is to the church. Of course, these were all, as you can probably guess, these were fake, but it did convince, or at least it annoyed, Judge Neelix and District Attorney Karen. I don't remember her name. I feel like it was Karen. I legitimately feel like it was Karen, though. I'm not even trying to make a joke. So there's that. But that ended up working along with Jimmy and the film crew making some calls as impersonating the people of Coushatta, Louisiana. And Huel got off with 4 months probation, which is pretty good. And Kim really liked doing that, and she wants to do more crazy lawyer stuff, presumably. Meanwhile, Mike took the Germans out on a night on the town to, help them out, get them relaxed, have a little fun. However, Kai got into a little bit of trouble, but Werner also got into a bit of trouble for talking about the construction to some random bar patrons. Of course, I argue, are these bar patrons, A, going to remember because they were drunk, and B, even if they tell someone that a German dude talked to them about secret construction in a bar, is anyone really going to pay attention to that? But either way, Werner had to have a stern talking to. And then Nacho has what I can only assume is a new problem in Lalo Salamanca. We don't know, like, I guess who he is in the family. Like, is he Hector's son? Is he someone else? I don't know, but at the very least, he's Salamanca, and presumably he's coming to help ensure that the Salamanca part of the business is overseen properly. And he assures Nacho that, he's just here as a supervisor, basically. You're not even going to notice him. But I get the feeling we're going to be noticing him, so yeah. So basically, just more problems for Nacho. But honestly, I feel like that could be the alternate title of this show, More Problems for Nacho. Anywho, also last week we were in a hotel room, so that was fun. And I did, last week I forgot to turn on my microphone in the recording, but we're all good. It's all good, man. And luckily, just the way I recorded it anyway worked out, and so it wasn't that bad. But as you can see, we are back here in the normal room, which means the AC is working beautifully right now. It is a nice 72 degrees in here, just the way I like it. So yeah, with that, with our comfort in hand, why don't we go ahead and jump right into this episode of Better Call Saul, penultimate episode of Season 4. Let's see what's gonna go on. Kind of stumbled on that sentence a bit. Let's go. Why is Kim on crutches?
Oh, I'll come around to you.
Oh, good, thanks.
Is this like a...
Okay. Yep.
Is this a
safe
slip?
match.
Is this
That's
a
good
lawyer
start.
slip?
It hasn't been that bad, except I have an 8-month-old, so...
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks.
Okay, so this
You know,
is
kinda doing it on my own.
a slip or a scam or...
My brother's been helping. Where's Aiden?
He's fine. He's in the Wrangler. Just take a smell.
The Wrangler.
It's a little funky.
You left my child in your Jeep?
Yeah, I cracked the window.
You cracked the window.
What? What am I supposed to do?
What are you supposed
Oh,
to do?
no.
You're supposed to watch a baby for 5 minutes in a car. How hard is that?
Slow down.
No, the thing. No, Bill, what have you done?
Your milk.
What?
Well, it just kind of went everywhere.
What are you talking?
I am so sorry.
Oh, is this how they're going to get
Oh
a...
my God.
And I'll trade them out.
Won't you get in trouble?
They're exactly the same. No one has to know.
Are
Okay.
you sure?
Go on,
Okay.
get them.
Okay. Okay, if you're sure.
They're not exactly the same, are they?
Shirley, I can't tell you how much this
Oh,
means to
she
me.
has a
Really,
second.
You're
And they only specified a couple of those dimensions. Oh, for goodness sake. Oh, slippin' Kimmy. Man, I hope she doesn't go off the deep end with it, though. Those are the old folks. But are these like the old folks, or are they other old folks? Oh. This is where he is.
Tío Héctor.
Uncle Hector. He's still a nephew.
¿A poco no me reconoce?
Does Hector have any kids of his own? Oh, he doesn't have the bell yet.
En el olor a cuero y pelo de caballo quemado. ¿Se acuerda?
Okay.
Hay algo que nunca le había dicho, tío. Regresé ese día. Me metí entre las llamas y el humo. Hacía tanto calor que la suela de mis zapatos empezó a quemar.
Jeez, why did you go back in?
Sí, ya sé que fue muy estúpido, pero... soy un sentimental. Quería un recuerdo.
Oh, don't tell me. The bell! They gave an origin story to the friggin' bell. Oh.
Vamos, tío.
Unexpected bonus of the drop phone business. It turns out it's great for client development.
Yeah.
Of course, they all know me as Saul Goodman.
What's those details?
Keep the name. You gotta keep the name.
Gotta say, our powers combined. People would pay top dollar for us to undo a potentially life-ruining sentence.
Well, it depends. I mean,
Use our powers for good.
yeah, it depends on who you're getting. Huel's a good person.
We just drove 300 miles to scam Lubbock, Texas, so that your client can have a 13% bigger bank branch. Don't get me wrong, I loved every second of it, but how was that using our powers for good?
Well, nobody's getting hurt. You're not doing it for potentially horrible criminals. There's got to be a spectrum, and there's the deep red, there's Huel, and there's a bank. Find the spectrum. Oh. Is that the dynamite? Or, I guess C4. Or both. I don't know, it doesn't... It looks like a stick of dynamite, but it's also not cartoon red. Is he nervous? Is he scared of explosives? I mean, of all the things to be scared of, it's valid. It's an explosive. Hey.
All green?
We're good.
We're good here.
Alright, dude. They must be doing something to mask the noise. Okay, just drive over it, but... Alright.
We're missing No, I'm good, thank you.
No, we don't accept this. You can't be always on duty, Mike.
Oh, come on, man. They got you a beer. Yeah! Oh, they're all proud of themselves. Everybody's celebrating. Well, except one.
You're talking about flying to Germany for a weekend.
Just a quick trip. I could leave detailed instructions.
For Kai?
Werner, you can do this. You put your head down and you push your way through. When it's done, from the money you've made here, you'll never be away from your wife again. We'll get you on the phone with her for an extra call. We'll do it tomorrow. Thank you, my friend.
I mean, like, I get it. But think about it this way. I mean, once the job is done, how much more rewarding it'll be when you do get home to your wife. Alright, Giancarlo, just look like you're writing something important.
Oh, yes, Lalo?
Is there any chance, and I know the answer is probably no, but is it possible for me to meet the owner?
I am the owner.
Really? How lucky for me. Would you be interested
His
in
eyes go so
franchising? Because
wide,
I
it's
would be
kind of terrifying.
eager to invest.
Well, perhaps we should go to my office where we can discuss it further.
Excellent.
Meh,
Don't waste that.
This way.
I won't. Poor Nacho.
Now.
Don't look at me! Do you see this guy? You think I can control him?
Varga tells me that while everybody else was picking their asses, you rushed to him, struck him on the chest, and brought him back.
It was simple instinct.
But still, with all the history between you two, what you did was a gesture of peace. At least that's how we see it.
I'm very pleased.
He knows about the partner, doesn't he?
I'm just shitting you. You would be crazy to go up against Eladio.
Meh.
We owe you. If you need a favor, I'm your man.
Same. Naturally.
Oh, and I'll be back for that chicken, eh? It's too tasty to stay away from.
Right. And drop. I think Lalo might be thinking some things about Gus.
So you pick up 6 keys a week?
Yeah.
Where?
He's got a chicken farm way out of town.
Show me.
Let's just go there unannounced. Granted, we just came here unannounced. God, poor Nacho. To deal with other Salamanca crap. Ah, come on, man. That's just littering.
He says he was impressed with your commitment. And for most of last year, you've been employed at CC Mobile?
It's a cell phone store. And again, there's a letter from my manager, Mr. Robert Finn. It's also in the supplemental materials.
Jimmy's got his bases covered.
Oh, Mr. McGill, is there anything you'd like to tell us about the reasons you were suspended in the first place?
This past year has pretty much been the only thing on my mind. And I'm humbled by the sheer stupidity of my actions.
God, that was so long ago, too.
I'm not going to make excuses, because...
Mr. McGowan, what does the law mean to you?
The law is sacred?
The law?
Just in general?
Yeah. Helping my clients, arguing on their behalf, that's the best thing I've ever done.
It's combining a bit of
And
Kim
this past year,
and a bit of Chuck to sell.
I missed the hell out of it.
To sell Jimmy.
Anything else?
No. Thank you.
I think we have everything we need. You'll
Were
be
they-
getting a letter with our decision in the next few days.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks for your time, all of you.
I almost wonder, because they never referenced Chuck by name, were they trying to get him to do that?
Some members of the committee found you somewhat
Insincere?
You're free to apply again next year.
Next year? Oh! Sorry, Jay Leno. Jeez. Question of sincerity. You've got to be kidding me. Who gives two craps? Oh, don't tell me he's gonna try to escape. Man, I hope not. We thought Kai was gonna be the problem.
Slow down. Slow down.
Oh my god. Driving that thing like a maniac. I hate this! Yeah. That is the sound of an angry man right there.
What did they say when you talked about Chuck?
What does Chuck have to do with this? What?
Well, so you didn't even...
You didn't mention. Not even mentioned by name.
Okay.
Okay, starting to see one or two holes
listen,
in this
we will
problem.
figure this out.
You don't believe me?
Of course I do.
Jesus, it's right there on your face. You think I'm some kind of lowlife, some kind of asshole.
What
kind of lawyer guilty people hire, right?
But no.
You look at me and you see Slippin' Jimmy.
But no.
I never said that.
Yeah, but you thought it.
What are you doing? You're just mad.
You want to know why the committee called you insincere? Because you didn't mention Chuck.
Yeah, I don't think about Chuck, okay? I don't miss Chuck. Chuck was alive and now he's dead and that's that. Finito.
Oh.
Life goes on, so sue me. There it is again. And that's why we don't have an office.
What? No, just, do not start in on that office. I don't want to hear another word about that stupid office.
Stupid office. Okay, here we go.
Jimmy,
oh, no.
I have been on your side since the day we met.
Oh, it's time for a fight.
Every single time you confess to a felony on tape, I'm there.
Yeah.
With a bar hearing, I represent
You get a little bored with your life, so you come down and roll around in the dirt. Have some fun with Slippin' Jimmy.
Oh, is it fun? Fun like lying to the ADA to get your friend out of the shitter? Or fun like standing there with a smile plastered on my face while you play infantile mind games on my law partner?
Oh, what a mistake it was to take me up to your office in the sky. You'll never do that again.
Yeah, maybe I won't.
This is
And
not.
maybe
This
next
is not
time
a
you call,
good.
I won't come.
There you go. Kick a man when he's down.
What have you done?
Jimmy, you are always down.
The other thing, is he gonna have this big show of remorse? Or is he gonna stick to it, like Chuck said?
I messed it all up.
You still want to be a lawyer? Well, we can start with that.
Well, they can work on getting things fixed. Oh no. Don't tell me that's a note that he's leaving. Oh no. Did he run? Really? I let him all the way back down. Great. That's a problem. Oh, jeez. All right. Huh. Okay, so everybody's got problems. Everybody's got problems. Oh, everybody's got their problems. Jimmy and Kim have a fight. Werner ran. And Gus now has to deal with Lalo. Oh boy. Okay. That's a lot of problems. I mean, look, I know I've said a lot this season that we're kind of between arcs. I mean, if anything, this season is is part of, the second story arc. It's just that, you build up to it, You build up to it, And now everything's sort of piling together. Everything's sort of piling together for when we get into the meat, Like, we're just at, like, if you describe it as like a sandwich, we're just at the, the top piece of bread, I'm thinking next season, in season 6, we're going to get into the meat, And then, obviously, that leaves season finale for the last part of the bread, you know? Does that analogy work? I guess. So this season's like the bread. Yeah. Alright. I mean, in sort of the same way as in Breaking Bad season 5, you know? Where Breaking Bad season 5, like, you start off like, well, you know, Walt, he's going in, he's unopposed and everything, and they're starting out again. They've got the, you know, the pest control thing for how they're going to cook. And so that just sort of starts out as the bread. Then you start getting into the meat, which is conflict with Mike, and then all the conflict with Hank and Jack, ending with that last slice, which is basically the last 2 episodes of the end of Heisenberg, you know? So it's sort of that too, except we have 2 full seasons, plus we're not even finished with this season yet. So it's basically, if we take this sandwich arc concept, we're stretching that over season 4, season 5, and season 6. So yes, that is the analogy I'm going to go with. That we are in the next arc, we've just been in the bread portion of the arc. And we're just about to hit the meat, I think. Yes. Yes, that's it. That's it. All right. So yeah. All right, let's... Combining some notes. Well, first off, we've got Lalo going to Hector, and confirming that Hector is his uncle. How many siblings does Hector have, you know? Because we always hear, like, presumably... I'm presuming that Lalo is not Tuco's brother, because I feel like they would have said that, you know? I feel like he would have said that. So... And presuming he's also not, like, the older brother of the twins... Though I guess he could be. I don't know. Like, it basically just seems... Now, if I remember correctly, there was... I think, wasn't it in Breaking Bad when they went and took out Don Eladio and the cartel, that one of the guys, I think it was the guy that Jesse killed in that, was... I think his name was Joaquim. And I think Gus said when he confronted Hector, he's like... You know, this man, he killed your grandson, Joaquim, you know? So Hector had children. But I love that, like, every other Salamanca we meet is just a nephew of Hector, you know? I don't know why, that's just so funny. Because honestly, like, I could see Lalo being his son or something, you know? Honestly, Lalo might be around... at least a similar age to Tuco, so I don't know. But yeah, but either way, another nephew of Hector. And we got that whole story. I love that was a good story. And then Lalo, I love this because this is a good mark of, you know, sort of where this Salamanca is on, you know, where he is in the spectrum of Salamancas. Because, you know, all the Salamancas are so different from each other, and I really like that. Because you have Tuco, who is so erratic and friggin' crazy, you know? And then you have the twins, who are completely cold, and, you know, they almost rarely talk, you know? They only talk when they absolutely need to. You get Hector, who is more of the classic, you know... The classic sort of gangster boss, I suppose. You know, he's got everything going on. Like, he's prone to anger, yes, but he's in control of everything, and he's older and everything, you know? So that works. And then Lalo, again, just from what we got in this episode and that one scene we got last episode, he really is, like, the most jovial of the Salamancas, you know? And it's making it scarier, Mainly, I mean, it's mainly, and yes, part of it is you guys have hyped up Lalo like crazy, you know? So I can't help but not feel the hype of Lalo being on this show. But just watching him, like, in Los Pollos, like, a part of me is like, well, I think he's genuine about, like, really enjoying the chicken. But on the other hand, his eyes go, like, so wide, it's terrifying. Like, I don't know what this dude's gonna do, you know? I don't know what this dude's gonna do. He's just... And even, like, when he was talking to Nacho... Poor friggin' Nacho, though. Poor friggin' Nacho has to put up with this now, you know? He just got rid of a Salamanca, you know? He just got rid of a Salamanca, and he has to deal with another one! But I like that moment where, you know, when they talk at the car, and it's like, oh, so, you know, you take about, what was it, 6 keys, and it's like, yeah, he's got a chicken farm, and, like, just the way Lalo talks, like, oh, so you take, oh, okay, so he's got a place. Well, show me. It's like just the almost like tone shift just in those 2 sentences, and I'm just sitting here like, what the hell is this guy gonna do? You know? What's happening? So, if anything, like, just immediately I'm just sort of sitting here like, man, I don't know what the... And see, at least with Tuco, like, part of that was because he was high sometimes, you know? Like, when he would get high off of the meth and stuff, that's when, you know, you're really on pins and needles then. But there were also moments, you know, we saw earlier in the show in episode 2 where, you know, where Tuco is, you know, he's very calm, he's very cool, and he does that because he doesn't want to alert his grandma of what's going on, his abuelita. But he's very calm, you know. Oh, cops, they coming? And I love that. It was a great... I love seeing that side of Tuco. But then, you know, get him out into the desert with people tied up, and he starts going crazy, you know? Starts yelling and stuff. And even we see a bit of that when he deals with Mike, you know? But I don't know. There's something about Lalo that's just a little bit creepier. There's something, like, I really don't know what he's going to do at any given moment. And from his talk with Gus, I feel like he may know a few things. Just from that line, it would be foolish to go against Eladio, wouldn't it? Like, are you figuring things out? Like, because he talks about, you know, the bad blood between Gus and the Salamancas, you know? So presumably he knows that that Hector killed Maximilian, you know? It was Max. I mean, I remember it was Max, but it was Maximilian, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was. So yeah, like I feel like Lalo knows, and maybe it's not just, you know, and with everything, with the whole thing of, you know, like, oh, Nacho said, well, you know, the rest of them were picking their ass, you dove in and, you know, revived him, but I don't know. Is Lalo putting some things together? But here's the thing. We know what happens. Is that Lalo is not in Breaking Bad. Lalo is not in Breaking Bad. And we know that Gus wins, you know? We know that Gus destroys the cartel, you know? We know that he gets his own perfect product north of the border, and then he enacts his revenge and he completely destroys the cartel. So even if Lalo suspects it, he's not going to be able to warn them at all, you know? But I guess that makes it all the more interesting, is that we have to see how are they going to deal with that, you know? How is Gus going to deal with Lalo? So there's that. That's a third of the episode. Not even. Like, considering screen time, I don't even think that's a third, but that's about a third of the story. The other part, another third, is Werner. Werner, I guess, escaping. He's gonna go back to Germany and then come back. I don't know. I don't know about that, man. I feel like maybe he thinks that, I mean, okay, we got to think about it. We kind of have to put ourselves in Werner's head, Because on the one hand, I suppose you can kind of understand, Because think about, there's 2 locations, basically, that these guys have seen for months on end. It's either the warehouse or it's the cave, the lab that they're making. So putting yourself in that headspace, and I think another factor that we should also probably put in is Werner's age, because he's not a young man. He's, like he said, he's about to reach. He's about to have been married for 26 years. So while the rest of them, yes, they're probably having their difficulties, but all of them are younger men. Werner is not. Not to say that being older, like, oh, he's less capable or anything like that, but that may take an even bigger toll on him, And after all this time, maybe also part of it is that he knows how long this will take, He's probably looking at it like this could take another 6 months, And he's going to miss his anniversary, That's probably what he's thinking, He's probably looking at the table and thinking, okay, but if I meet my wife for, a couple days, then I will have the motivation to keep going, Where the rest of them, they're all just some, red-blooded young men who, just need to get their rocks off for a night. Werner's a bit different. So in some respect, I can understand what he's doing. However, there is obviously the logical part of that where this is not logical, There's the other, more rational side of this that he's putting everything in jeopardy. He's going against his employers, and there could be serious consequences about it, So, and I mean, I don't know how many more serious consequences there can be other than just... But the problem is I feel like you almost can't kill him, Excuse me. Jeez. Sorry. I feel like you can't kill him. I feel like they wouldn't kill his wife. So, I mean, can they kill him? That would leave Kai in charge. Man, it's crazy because they set you up. They set you up that, oh, Kai's going to be the problem. I mean, he's a bit of a scoundrel, but other than that, he's doing the work. Couple mishaps, but he's in there. He's getting the job done. Werner's the problem now. And, you kind of think about it like, like I said, think about it this way. Once you get this done, how much more rewarding is that going to be to see your wife? And that's kind of what Mike says anyway. But he's desperate, and it's clearly taken a toll on his mind for him to actually consider and actually run. He ran, and he had a plan, and he knew what he was doing, because it's that desperation that kicked in, It's that desperation that kicked in and made him run. And then there's Jimmy. Here's one good thing about the fight. One good thing about the fight is that I feel like you can understand both sides of that fight. Because on the one hand, you understand, and let's talk about The Office first. Not the show, you know what I mean. let's talk about their office first. Because on the one hand, you understand where Kim is coming from. Like, hey, we live together, we sleep together, you know, we're pretty much practically inseparable. But the thing that Jimmy focuses on is an office, you know? Why can they never work together? Why can they never work together? And now, part of it, though, is that they were working together for a little while. It was working for a little while. But yeah. But, I mean, just before, well, I guess not just before, but while Jimmy couldn't have an office, couldn't be a lawyer, she went on and went to Schweikert and Coakley instead. You really do understand both parts of it, you know? And one thing I will say about the whole sincerity thing is I get why they said that, and it, you know, the whole thing is he didn't mention Chuck. He doesn't, like, they reference, you know, what he did to get suspended in the first place, and he talks about, like, oh yes, I understand the sheer stupidity of it, but they set him up. They set him up for, you know, what was your, you know, big influence into getting into law. And what they were looking for was a show of remorse for what happened to Chuck. On the other hand, we're all sitting here watching this, and there's a part of me that's like, Ed, he shouldn't have to mention that, you know? He shouldn't have to be saddled with this, you know? He shouldn't have to be saddled with this because he never wanted any of this to happen, you know? He never wanted any of this to happen. He never wanted to be enemies with his brother. He never wanted to have to, you know, literally take a brotherly struggle to court. He never wanted his brother to die horrifically in a fire. But it's the same thing, you know, in season 3 when they're all talking to Miss Hay, the lawyer who never came back. And she says, you know, oh, I want, you know, it's basically there's no sincerity, you know? It's very dry, it was very basic. And she's like, I want to hear an apology to Charles. An apology for falling into the trap that Chuck set. Think about that. Because that is it. Is that, yes, Jimmy did go in, he did burst in and break the tape, but Chuck was prepared. Chuck knew he would do it. Chuck used his brother's love for him against him, and he had witnesses prepared, you know? But Jimmy has to be the one to say, I'm sorry, you know? Jimmy has to be like, oh, well, you know, my brother, he was just the greatest human being on earth, and look at me, I'm shit, but can I be a lawyer, you know? But to everyone else, it's the great Charles McGill, and this is just his little brother, you know? Whereas we, the audience, are watching this saying, well, it's not the great Charles McGill and his little brother. It's Chuck and Jimmy. They've both done great things. They've both done terrible things. We don't... Maybe, as the audience, we slightly put Jimmy higher. Maybe put Jimmy on a slightly higher pedestal because he is the protagonist. You know? He is the main character. We have had this history from Breaking Bad, knowing him as Saul Goodman. But, so you understand And the fact that it's the insincerity that means he cannot be a lawyer for another year, you know? It's the insincerity. That is, I will admit, a bit of horse manure, you know? Because is he a functioning lawyer? So, the fact that all of that, he did everything right, but because he didn't mention the brother who tried at every single point to bury him, to destroy him, because of that, he can't be a lawyer. Yes, I will agree with Jimmy that it's horse manure. On the other hand, I agree with Kim, it should have been plainly obvious you do have to do that, you know? Because while you may have moved completely on, and Chuck is just a face in the crowd now, everybody else, you gotta play to your audience, play to your audience. And if your audience is people who, you know, have the greatest, you know, admiration and respect for Charles McGill, you got to play to that audience, man. And he didn't. And he took it out on Kim. I understand the frustration, but taking that out on Kim, that was a rough fight. That was rough. That was really rough. And it really is because, you know, when he says, you know, you see Slip and Jimmy. No. Now, part of it, what he said, like, oh, you get to go up into your, you know, into your office in the sky, and occasionally you get to come down and roll around in the dirt with me, you know? But, I mean, who has been by his side all the goddamn time? Who will drop everything for him? Every fucking thing. She will drop everything to help him. She will drop everything to help his friend. You know? He messed that up. But Kim, being, you know, the greatest person ever, who I hold up on a pedestal at least, well, it will take time, I'm sure, to mend what happened because of that fight. They're not fully over. There's still something. And she did say, hey, if you still want to be a lawyer, we'll start there. They can fix this. Slowly, but hopefully they can fix this. Of course, Kim Wexler is not in Breaking Bad, so something's got to fuck up. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time for the Season 4 finale. God help us. See you guys there. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around to any of those. There's a playlist for all of my Better Call Saul reactions, as well as another playlist for all of my Breaking Bad reactions if you want to go check those out. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.